This election and its results didn't just decide who holds office next. It revealed how the country feels about the direction Trump has taken it. It was widely recognized as a referendum on Trump. And what I mean by that is voters were responding to Trump's influence on this nation, his policies, his style of leadership, and the political climate, all of which he shaped. In effect, the ballot became a verdict on the Trump era itself. And the results? Trump had to concede that his party got so wrecked. So let's start with the guy who insists on making everything about himself.
Last night it was, not expected to be a victory. It was very Democrat areas, but I don't think it was good for Republicans. I don't think it was good. I'm not sure it was good for anybody.
Donald admitting his candidate's loss. The guy who never literally admits anything had to stand there and say it all out loud. When Trump admits defeat, you know it was brutal. Democrats won in New Jersey with Mikie Sherrill. They won in Virginia with Abigail Spanberger. They defended California against Trump's attacks. And in Virginia, specifically, every county shifted blue, not just the cities or suburbs. Every county moved to the left. That signals something really big. When even rural areas trend away from your party, it means people across the board are rejecting your message. Voters rejected the MAGA agenda. They rejected the cruelty, the chaos, the nonstop attacks on basic rights.
Also about the shutdown and how that relates to last night. I think if you read the pollsters, the shutdown was a big factor, negative for the Republicans.
Trump knows the shutdown hurt his party. He knows these immigration kidnappings are backfiring. He knows voters are exhausted, but he can't help himself. He keeps pushing policies that make life harder for regular people while pretending he's on their side. And voters saw right through it.
So you start here in Hudson County, which is just across. This is Jersey City. This is Manhattan right here. So you're just across. This is a suburb of New York in many ways. And so Democrats this morning were nervous about turnout. Tonight, they feel a lot better about it. They think their voters came out here. Then you move over here to Essex County, which is third in population. That's Newark. That's where Cory Booker was mayor. Again, big Democratic base right there, but a place where Donald Trump did a little better last time. Democrats this morning, a little nervous. Would their voters come out? They say their voters are coming out, and they say, and we'll see in 18 minutes or so, if they're correct, they say that they have managed, it's an off year. It's not a presidential year. It's hard to get people who vote for president, but maybe don't vote other times to come out. Democrats say they did a better job than Republicans in turning out what we call low propensity voters. We will see it pretty soon.
Okay. So I was a little nervous because 2024 left me a little cynical and a little messed up. But really, Mikie Sherrill's win in New Jersey should not surprise anyone. Voters tend to notice when a party is out here trying to rip away healthcare and slash food assistance for 1 in 8 Americans, or 12% of all children who rely on it to survive. Funny how that works. Sherrill didn't just beat Trump-endorsed Chitterelli. She steamrolled back all 5 counties Trump flipped in 2024. That's voters sending a very clear message. No, we actually do care about people having basic rights and resources, and maybe we effed up a little bit. And her becoming the state's second female governor, it slots right into what we just saw in Virginia and New York City, with Democrats winning because they showed up and they didn't cower. This is what organizing looks like. This is what happens when people refuse to roll over. And then there's California.
One thing he never counted on, though, was the state of California. Instead of agonizing over the state of our nation, we organized in an unprecedented way in a 90-day sprint. People from all over the United States of America contributed their voices and their support for this initiative.
Newsom gets it. You don't win by sitting around stressed out. You win by getting up and going to work. You win by showing up and refusing to let fear run the show. California didn't just defend itself against Trump. We mobilized in record numbers and proved that pushing back actually works. Now, that's the energy we need to continue moving forward. And we need to move outward too. We need New York, we need Illinois to step up and lock in. If we keep this momentum going, keep actually fighting for people's material lives, these wins won't be surprising anymore. We won't have to be as nervous and strung out over it. They'll just be the standard. Okay, So I mentioned this earlier, and this matters because it destroys the narrative that Trump's base is solid, that rural America is locked in for MAGA forever, that only Democrats can win in urban areas. Virginia just proved that that's not true. When you have the country trending in the same direction, away from your Republican Party, that's not a close race with different regional preferences. What we're seeing here is people rejecting Trump. The message isn't just about losing certain cities for Trump, it's losing everywhere. Rural voters, suburban voters, urban voters all moved in the same direction, left. Republicans have spent years telling themselves they own rural America. That culture war issues and tax cuts for the rich are what those communities want. Virginia just told them, no. People in rural areas care about the same things everyone else does. Affordable health care, good schools, roads that don't fall apart, being able to feed their families. And when one party offers solutions and the other offers fear and division, even traditionally red areas will shift. Even Fox News couldn't pretend this went well.
All right, we are ready. Projection time. The Fox News decision desk can now project that Congresswoman Mikie Sherrill will, in fact, become the next Democratic governor of New Jersey. Now, Sherrill defeats Republican Jack Ciattarelli, whom President Trump endorsed in May. The GOP had hoped that Ciattarelli could deliver an upset after a very close loss 4 years ago.
Sean Hannity having to call it for Mikie Sherrill. You could hear it in his voice. Fox spent months trying to convince everyone that Democrats were toast, that Trump's agenda was wildly popular, and that voters loved these immigration kidnappings and racial profilings and all the chaos. And then on election night, it all happened. And even they had to face that reality.
And as far as the Trump impact on the Sherrill voters, the reason for their vote, the Sherrill voters vote, those who said that they wanted to oppose the sitting president, 71% of them. So this is really what led to the outcome tonight. And I'll finish.
Mikie Sherrill's win in the great state of New Jersey honestly shouldn't shock anyone. Turns out voters don't love the whole let's rip healthcare away and slash food assistance for working families vibe. Funny, again, how threatening 1 in 8 Americans' access to SNAP and acting like immigrant communities are disposable doesn't play great at the ballot box. Sherrill not only beat Trump-endorsed Jack, she flipped back all 5 counties and managed to snag more, which is basically voters saying, no thanks. Democrats racked up wins in Virginia and New York too. It's a reminder that yes, people are watching. And when you make lives harder for them on purpose, they tend to vote accordingly.
I also know that those who were supporting my opponent are disappointed today. And to those Virginians who did not vote for me, I want you to know that my goal and my intent is to serve all Virginians. And that means that I will listen to you, I will work for you and with you.
Abigail Spanberger promising to serve everyone in Virginia, not just the people who voted for her. Unity instead of division, getting things done instead of picking fights. This is what actual leadership looks like. We are so hungry for some real leadership. Look, here's what last night proved. The Democrats aren't dead. We've got a long way to go. But when people organize, when we show up, when we run on policies that people actually care about instead of trying to be Republican light, we win. Even in tough areas, even in red districts, even against Trump's handpicked little candidates. Voters are rejecting MAGA, not because Democrats ran some perfect campaign, not because everything's fixed, but because people are exhausted by the cruelty, exhausted by watching their neighbors get kidnapped and disappeared, exhausted by seeing pregnant women disappear into detention centers and hearing those cries, exhausted by a government that uses violence as policy and fear as a weapon. Last night wasn't just about winning a few elections. It was about proving that fighting back actually works, that organizing changes things, that showing up matters. Trump admitted to his party they lost. Fox News had to call all the races for Democrats. 71% of New Jersey voters said no to the president-selected candidate. Every county in Virginia moved left. Every county. Democratic turnout surged everywhere. This is what happens when people have had enough and refuse to just accept this fascist government takeover. This is what happens when communities get together instead of just saying, this is really crazy. This is what happens when voters pick leaders who actually give a damn about them. The work doesn't stop here. Trump is still president. He's still alive. JD Vance still exists. ICE is still kidnapping and disappearing people. Pregnant women are still being locked up and detained with no due process and losing their pregnancies. The attacks will keep coming. He's probably really pissed off somewhere, and we are going to see some major retaliation, I'd imagine. But this election proved something, and it proved something really important. We can actually win. We can organize. We can have our little hope core moments. And when we refuse to be scared into silence, we win. And last night in New Jersey, Virginia, California, that's exactly what happened. New York City, the message is so clear. People said no more cruelty, not to a movement built entirely on fear and hate. They picked leaders who believed in dignity and justice and the basic idea that government should help people, not destroy them. And that's what we're building on. That's the mandate, and that's what comes next. And if you've enjoyed this, take a moment to subscribe. I am Loren P. across all social channels. This is I am Willa P. And let us know what you want to see more of next.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.